and I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
Go back and read what I said. That is an interesting reading of English. I assume you got into journalism because you like to write.
What the hell? What do you do all the time? So when did I say I was confident?
You said in the next 6 months you'll be able to determine.
What I said was.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
One of the main tactics that the president used to convince Americans that he should be the next president was a return to political civility, right? What a bait and switch that was. Biden, of course, has a long history of snapping, losing his cool, low blows, raising his voice, insulting, turning his back on the same reporters that worked so hard to get him elected, inviting people to the parking lot for a fist fight. Just another career politician, another phony tough guy, another blowhard. That's who he really is, and he's just playing a role now. And they've developed him pretty well. A recent op-ed in the New York Post written by Trump's former Assistant Secretary of Treasury, Monica Crowley, describes it best. Joe Biden's kindly uncle routine has always been a facade. He is dangerous. She writes, Uncle Joe, now firmly in grandfather territory, was never that guy. Long a fantasist who recounts fake stories years after they've been debunked, Biden was always a hit-and-run liar. That is very well put. Crowley points out while it's one thing to attack the press, it's another to attack potential voters who ask legitimate questions. Remember some of these moments from the campaign trail?
You're a damn liar, man. That's not true.
You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
You are actively trying to diminish our Second Amendment right and take away our guns.
You're full of You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but you're...
Monica Crowley joins us now to talk more about this. It's good to see you, Monica. You know, it's funny to see Biden now. You know, he's much different in a lot of ways than he was in his younger years. He's always been kind of a foul-mouthed, kind of dumb and tactless politician. They worked really hard, though, to clean him up, although you still see a lot of the flaws.
Well, there's one big reason why you don't see President Biden out a lot, giving press conferences, talking to reporters, talking to the general public, and it's because of moments like that. So his team knows that they've got to keep him on a short leash, which is the exact opposite of President Trump, who was out talking to people and reporters all day, every day. Look, one of the reasons why I decided to write that piece this week in the New York Post, Rob, is because for 50 years that Joe Biden has been on the national scene, he's gotten a pass. Everybody has excused his inappropriate behavior, his cussing, his profanity, his innate meanness, mean-spiritedness, spitefulness. Everybody just sort of dismissed it as, well, it's just Joe, and laughed it off. Well, now all of those negative personality qualities are now paired with a severe cognitive decline. And all of that now is in the presidency of the United States sitting in the Oval Office. That's what I mean about all of these personality flaws are exceedingly dangerous now for the country.
Right. And it's just the irony is so thick that this was going to be the great uniter. And he really always was one of he always had a hair trigger temper. He always had a short fuse, and he was always very tactless. And aren't those the things that the left tried to portray Donald Trump as? And then this became the champion of removing Trump so that they could put somebody in that had the same flaws.
Yeah, you know, they are all masters of projection. They're always accusing Republicans and conservatives and populists like Trump of what they themselves are guilty of. So every time you hear an accusation, just keep that in mind. Look, Joe Biden came in and he said he was promising a return to civility and decency. And he promised that any aide who showed any disrespect to anyone would be, quote, fired on the spot. Well, isn't he supposed to be the ultimate role model for that promise? And yet he's shooting from the hip. And look, the presidency, Rob, is a high-pressure job, probably the most high-pressure job in the world, right?
Obviously.
All presidents show flashes of anger and spitefulness, but not all presidents are 79 years old with severe cognitive decline. That only exacerbates all of these negative issues, clouds his judgment, and puts all of us at risk.
That's very well put. And the funniest thing is that, I mean, We watched Trump, the temper on Trump got the best of him at times, but you have to understand, Trump was being assaulted every single day by a press corps that hated him to their core and hated everything that he was about, hated his entire agenda because they are born and bred liberals. This president gets it so easy from that same press corps, and even while getting 1/10 of what President Trump took, Biden still cannot keep it in check, and that to me is amazing.